Yeah, so I had this talk with a sports agent, somebody who's representing some athletes regarding investing, and one of the things that I said, I wish actually there's a lot of different financial products, but obviously if you look at real estate is one of the most solid because you're actually buying a physical something, which you can, in case of need, you can resell it, you can rent it out, whatsoever. So it is basically, it's an object, it's something that's tangible, valuable, and I wish that more and more athletes, but also like I see young entrepreneurs now making fast money, they would basically have a look into it. Now, what I do for my clients, we build basically a strategy from when they're at the start of the career or in the middle of the career or at the end of the career, and basically based on that, we're looking for which one is the right financial investment for them to do. For example, a player that just comes into the league, let's say 20, 21 years old, get his first contracts, makes a couple of $100,000, euros, whatever it is. Yeah, if you think about it, at that moment, what you could do, you could start basically buy your first flat. Yeah, the first apartment. Let's say it could be a studio, one bedroom. It depends where as well. What is the down payment? You take it, you put it aside, you rent it out. Yeah, after it, maybe you buy it off plan, or maybe you already buy it already built, but buy it off plan, rent it out. At the same time, most of the time you actually are living in apartments, or let's say housing from the club, yeah, from the organization. So you don't need to have those costs. So what you could do with the money that you have spare, yeah, instead of blowing it on cars and those kind of things, just buy that first apartment, rent it out, and then basically as your time develops, you buy a second one, a third one, a fourth one, and before you know, you basically are a big. So you be a big property owner. And what I basically tell people as well is that what a lot of people sometimes misunderstand, these collaterals, these objects are actually the fundamentals for your after your career. Because let me explain to you something very simple. If you own, you might be 34, 35 when you finish playing football or whatever, and you own, let's say 10 to 12 properties, they generate rental income. Yeah, if you did it well, you have these properties generating income. Then you also have spare, yeah, amount of money which you put aside from, let's say, your salary, like for your pension and you whatever. But actually, these developments, yeah, of this collateral, you can then actually go to the bank and say, look, I want to get a loan, because you can show that you have rental income. I want to get a loan, yeah, and you basically say, oh, I want to drive the Ferrari when I'm 35, 36. You can do that because basically you put that as a collateral for the loan for the Ferrari. Win-win. And we can even take it a step further. And basically, that's why I say, I don't just sell a property. We create strategies. We create investment strategies, wealth strategies, 2-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 15-year plan. So this is not something that's very new, obviously. But let's say, for example, in this case, yeah, you put all your properties into a holding or into, let's say, a company, yeah, and this company actually owns the properties, and then this company can actually lease that Ferrari, if you understand what I mean. So you don't have to take the money from your bank account and buy that 300,000, 500,000 euro car, which you don't need. Keep that money in your account. Let the money basically work for you, instead of you taking out big lump sums every time to buy something, let's say for the lifestyle. No, let the investment pay for the lifestyle. That has to be the goal. Yeah, and this is what I tell people. And let the investment pay for the lifestyle. I mean, I see a lot of athletes, they make a lot of money during their career, and then they would be owning 5, 6, 7 cars at a time. And if you look at it, obviously it's nice. Some cars, you can obviously sell off with profit, but most of the time it's objects that basically will lose you money. But if you look at the smart ones, the ones that get, let's say, the best advice at a young age, they start to invest, yeah, in companies. They start to invest in real estate. They diversify their portfolio, because they know that during the times that you actually have the security of having that 2-year, 5-year, 3-year contract with the club, that's when you have to optimize the time and invest big, and basically go hard, because that's the time that you build your wealth. So basically, this is in a nutshell, what I do for investors, athletes, forex traders, yeah, people that basically generate a certain amount of income, where it's obviously easily to fall into habits of big spending and just wasting and blowing money. But instead of that, blowing that money, make that money work for you in the back. You still have enough to have that lifestyle, yeah. But once you, let's say, have that money that has those investments as a backup plan, yeah, and has it there, what you now start to do from a young age, you start to build generational wealth, yeah, because maybe you're going to be a father or a mother or whatsoever in the future, yeah, or you have family members that you want to help out. These investments can actually build that plan and build that for you. So start at the right time, yeah. Most of the time it is the challenge to get that first money together, but once you have that, yeah, so once you have that first initial deposit, that first money ready to invest in properties, and if you play it right, you will see it basically growing and growing and growing. And this is what I tell people, some people, they have to work 20, 25 years for that first initial down payment, yeah, and after that, if they play it right, you see them growing from 0 to 5 years, from, let's say, a couple of 100,000 to a couple of millions. Obviously, the sooner you have that in your let's say in your age, in your time when you start to invest, the more you can actually generate, and not everything is always 100% secure. So don't let people tell you, oh, you're always going to make money. No, it's not the facts, but if you do calculated risk, if you basically follow the right, let's say, advices, yeah, you will make money. I have seen, for example, a property here in downtown here in Dubai. It's already under construction. This property basically made people from the beginning of this year already like 7 to 10%. So yeah, that's like what, 7 to 10% in a couple of months. But imagine, yeah, and this is what I tell people. Imagine the people who bought at the beginning when it was off plan. How much profit basically, of how much already have they made? This is one of the things. So with the right advisement, and this is what I tell people, the right payment plan, the right location, the right exit strategy, you will make money. Yeah, it is obviously, are you following the brochures, are you following the trends, are you following basically the hypes, or do you really trust in somebody that have tested the market, know the markets, know basically what's going on in the real estate industry, instead of just like, oh, buy this, buy that. No, you have to look at the data, you have to look at the figures, you have to look around you. And I always keep saying, look, there's only one front row. That's a fact. Yeah, second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th, but there's only one. So if you know investors, if you know athletes or athlete managers, artist managers, wealth officers, family officers, people that want to discuss possibilities about investing in the UAE, yeah, but not only the UAE, yeah, also Miami, Marbella. Just let me know. We have a network of people that work together, and we can basically help you get the right advice, yeah, because I think that's most important, the right advice. And obviously it's up to you and your team of specialists to make a decision. We provide options, we provide solutions for problems, but in the end of the day, it's obviously up to you. And yeah, there is some developments which go fast. It's the nature of the game, and this is not some sales talk, but it's you have, if you want to be in, you have to make quick decisions. But even then, you have to make calculated decisions.